till I'm done. No harm in having fun. Going dice for the prize. Don't like these snake eyes. Rolling heat till sunrise. Gotta shake, shake, spin, spin away. Yeah, everything will be alright. Got the eyes, got the twist of surprises. Make a list in my drink with a kiss, baby, burning up a dynamite. It's a Friday for kings and we're flying, and I hear the band playing, just like Vegas in the sun. Going six to the sky, I'm the devil in disguise. Throwing heat till sunrise, just like Vegas in the sun. One more drink, then I'm done. 95 and 21 lives. Gotta shake, shake, spin, spin away. Yeah, everything will be alright. Got the eyes, got a twist of surprises. Then I listen, I drink, give a kiss, baby, rolling up dynamite. It's a Friday for kings and we're flying. 'Cause there's nothing better. Yeah, there's nothing better. Gotta shake, shake, spin, spin away. Yeah, everything will be alright. Got the eyes, got a twist for surprises. Just like Vegas in the sun. Just like Vegas in the sun. Just like Vegas in the sun. I'm hot.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day. People feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way. Yeah. Birds jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah. Light is gonna come. The birds have just begun. We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a roll. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a whirl. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah.
Good evening, everybody. It's Friday night, my friends. Welcome on in. Hope everyone has had a good week so far, and I hope you're all having a good start of your weekend. Hello and welcome on in. I am just kind of buttoning some things up here. 1 second while I do so. Let's see if this comes over. Ah, it does. Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome on in. Hope everyone is doing well, as I said earlier. Throat's a little scratchy right now. I've been coughing up a little bit of a storm here, but that is par for the course for this time of the year where the weather has changed and my sinuses haven't dried up yet. So having to deal with that a bit. Hopefully I'll be able to hit the mute button when it's appropriate. But anyway, friends, welcome on in. Do some coding tonight and some chilling and some chatting. I was on, in case you missed it, I was on a stream earlier today with Saint Lord, and we were, chatting about streaming sites and suggestions and kind of criticisms, but criticisms made with in good faith, trying to sort of offer up experience from around the streaming world, as it were, because we've both gotten around a bit, as it were. And so between last week and today, I have done nothing with regards to the code here. I've taken a couple days off around the holiday here. It was Thanksgiving yesterday here for those of us in the States. So I will probably actually be working a little bit more on this code, just kind of on my own here and there. But obviously tonight we're going to work on some, and then tomorrow afternoon we'll be working on it some more. But that does mean that I'm still kind of stuck in the conundrum I found myself in, which is I have everything set up the way that I the way that the sort of the example had things set up for doing chat messages and stuff. But it's not working. At least not from Postman. Now, that's not to say that Postman is the be-all and do-all, but I would like for things to work from Postman so that I can, you know... oh yeah, connection refused because I didn't turn the server on yet. But I would like for things to work through Postman because that will make things a lot easier to test and to kind of prove out. You know, without necessarily having to have it on the page itself. So trying to see what I can do here. I mean, I do have the page set up, so I should be able to run, you know, the chat through the page itself as well. But we're having an issue with trying to figure out how to do the stomp protocol stuff. It just seems like it doesn't want to. It seems like I'm missing something here. It's not able to see what I'm trying to send it. We're just getting like a 400 bad requests. So either that means it, which likely means it found the endpoint, but it didn't speak properly with the endpoint. So I have to see what I've missed there in regards to that. And yeah, just kind of trying to figure out how I can get like the very basic test of this working. Now, I mean, this is kind of how I do things, friends. I learn best by failing repeatedly and then eventually succeeding. So this is definitely my this is definitely me in repeatedly failing mode right now, in the hopes that I do eventually figure out what I'm missing. Which could be a little frustrating for people watching, and I understand that. But this is just kind of how I do things. That said, I always tend to treat these streams as both a creative stream and a just chatting stream, so you know, we can always chat about technology, coding, industry stuff, you know, AI, streaming stuff, you know, whatever. So always, I want everyone to feel free, at any time to just kind of, you know, interrupt and questions and other things. That is always, it is always welcome. You know, like I said, I'm not in any rush to get all this stuff working and running. I would like to, at the end of the night, have some breakthrough, but I'm under no deadlines or compunctions about how long it's going to take me to do this stuff or whatever. You know, I'm a sole developer, you know, working on a big project, and it's going to take as long as it's going to take. But by God, by the end of it, I'm going to want to know, I'm going to hope very strongly that I understand all the parts of it, at least well enough to be able to, if I needed to in the future, replicate it, you know? So that's what I'm hoping for here. So can I glimpse? Yep. Configuration is a Spring configuration. Enable WebSocket message broker. Configure message broker. WebSocket message broker configure. All right, let's look at our config right now. So, where's that at? Hey, Techno Freak, welcome. Welcome. It is going well for me, sir. How are you doing? I saw you were you're doing some Linux modding and for Garfield. That's the word I was looking for the other day. So how'd all that go? Let's see. Otherwise, it's going all right for me. I'm a little bit hoarse right now because my sinuses are just like I don't have like allergies or anything. It's just like whenever the weather changes drastically from hot to cold and whatever, there's a transition period where I just need like my sinuses just will not stop. Will not stop producing, and I need them to kind of dry out so I can stop coughing constantly and all that stuff right now. Early this morning, you set up BlendOS, and it's killer good. Ooh, nice. Nice. So is that, let me see. Oh, so it's Arch Linux. Okay. So it's probably super locked down. Minimal system. Yeah. I figured. Oh, but it does have the so it has like alien support where it does APKs, debs, and RPMs on the Arch system. Huh. Interesting. You can install apps and stuff that go into containers like a VM, but it's not as real time. They run so fast it has full crossover to containers, but they don't affect the main system when you install them. Yeah, that's what it's looking like here. So it's really, yeah, lightweight atomic and declarative Arch system. Interesting. Oh, Podman containers. Okay. Without the fear of using Podman containers. Okay. So everything is isolated from one another. Interesting. Linux base system. Well, I wonder, do you need? I mean, I guess it. You don't really have anything running, so you're basically running your games on the bare metal at that point. So I could see that really improving performance. I question whether or not it needs it for applications, because you kind of want multiple applications to communicate with one another. But for games, I mean, do you run Steam under one thing, or do you just run the games individually under the custom packages? Oh, I see. So you would make like an Ubuntu container, and then just install Steam on it or something, right? On that container and just run it that way. Install Does use more space. Well, yeah, because you've got multiple copies of operating systems on there. Yeah, doesn't run stuff. Oh, okay. But interesting. For the apps, they run through the kernel, even though they can through the containers. Huh. That's pretty cool. Hmm. So then, I guess the more interesting thing to me here is the Android support. So one of the things that'll be really nice, like I like, obviously getting Steam to run is awesome in and of itself, but if I could then have another container that's just running a flavor of the Android operating system and run like mobile apps or mobile games really from that, and still be able to capture the audio and everything from them to be able to stream, that would be fantastic. Because then I because when I used to live stream mobile games, I would have to jump through, I would run either an emulator, usually an Android emulator or something, which a lot of them have these just weird things that they install and spyware crap on them. Like Blue OS and all that stuff. They used to install so much crap, and stuff would kind of run and kind of not. So it'd be nice if you could run those natively in like a clean Android OS. You know what I mean? Set up a terminal setup only and use your base system for the rest. Okay. Still adding more in as they go. I haven't played with it yet. That would be interesting to play with that. Play with the Android stuff. Yeah, I noticed that. That's pretty early on. It's V3 here. For that. But it would be kind of interesting to see, because that to me would be, I mean, the ultimate thing, and here's the ultimate thing in my mind, would be you have a container that's running all of your Steam games, or at least whatever ones are compatible. You've got a container running Android games, and you've got a container running I lost my train of thought there. You have a container running wow, I completely lost my train of thought. Where was I going with that? Steam, Android, and the containers don't work like that. Something like their VM, they're not. Oh. Okay. So you wouldn't isolate all that stuff then? Oh, emulated games, like emulators, like an SNES emulator and stuff like that would be the other part of that. Because that to me, like if I can install a Linux distro and kind of get all of those working properly, like get the Android running, get all that stuff. Even if it's just like multiple VMs, like get like a host machine that will run a bunch of VMs or something. That would be good. Oh, they just let you install packages from other distros and use them on the system like native. Okay. Okay. Feels like it's part of the base system, but it's not. Okay. Okay. Right. But it's still running in... You're still running them in isolation from one another. I mean, yes, they're running on the base system, but if you're running an Android thing... It's got its own memory space that it's running in, right? And it's not just you're running that as another process and then you're running something else as a different process. Like, they would have to separate the memory spaces at some point, I would think, right? They all can talk to all. That's odd. Okay. Interesting. That's interesting. They all have inter-process communication and stuff. I'm interested to know how they do... the Android stuff, because there would have to be either an emulation layer there or a translation layer there to do that. Because if it's like you're running, you know, an Android OS, you know, had it running in a VM before you install it. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the one thing that kind of would be interested in, because that to me says either they're just running an Android emulator, an emulation layer that you just grab from whatever, you know, Linux distribution you want, or they're doing some other kind of hardware emulation thing, you know, translation or whatever. They have a translation layer, but not sure. Yeah. I mean, that's what it'd have to be. It would have to be either one or the other. Either they're emulating the hardware or they're translating it from Android to, they're translating the system calls. Because ultimately Android is a flavor of Linux. Kind of sits on Linux. The Android OS does, mostly. So I could see there being like maybe a translation layer there. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, no, that's cool. That's really cool. It's interesting to see how all that comes together here. Seamless blend of all Linux distributions. Huh. Updates, overlays, and containers. OS settings. I mean, it makes sense that they put it on Arch, because Arch is one of those things where you can basically configure the entire OS via configuration files. So that makes complete sense. And also Arch is like the most lightweight you can pretty much get. Because you can just say, give me the bare metalist of metalist, you know, Linux kernel as you can give me, kind of thing. Well, Android, yes. Android's based on Linux. Chrome OS is based on Linux, yeah. The Mac is technically more a flavor of Unix, but, you know, it's very similar. It's, I don't know if they could, I don't know that they could translate that necessarily, but maybe they could. Yeah, I mean, basically, people who use Arch Linux are people who are like, I want absolute control over every little aspect of the kernel and what gets downloaded. It makes sense that you would, if you're doing Blend OS, something like that, you would start off with Arch Linux. Although I guess I guess they've gotten to a point where they don't need to recompile. I guess Arch now has pre-compiled stuff now, I guess. Because I feel like it used to be that you had to, if you were doing Arch Linux, you had to basically compile the kernel and stuff. But I guess they're using just kernel modules and all that now. They're pre-compiled in order to just speed things up. The base on Linux has just gone so sideways over the years. Yeah, I thought it was what was OS X Unix is what would they called the thing? They have a specific name for their OS. Like it's Unix based, but they call it something. I don't remember the name of it. Darwin, that's what it is. It's Darwin. So yeah, it's based on Unix, but it's really Darwin. So it's kind of like a hybrid of Unix and a little bit of Linux in there too, probably. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how they got around it. Because if they had done it, completely based on Unix, they would have had to open source it. So instead, they took the open source code and then white roomed or clean roomed their own kernel, but they wouldn't have to open source it, and made something that was Unix-like, but not entirely. Yeah. It's like they could have a Unix mother and a Linux father. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They clean roomed their kernel, I believe. They wouldn't have to open source it. Which, you know, is what it is, I guess. But yeah, this is kind of cool. I like this. I like the idea of this. I like the idea of this, especially if you're trying to get a specific thing to work and you just want to use whatever is the most appropriate package, get it to work with, and you know, not have to wait for something to get ported to whatever operating system you're actually on. That'd be good. Yeah, I like it. I like it. Took part of both the claim, not one or the other. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yep. I mean, it's funny too, because Microsoft has essentially a Linux layer inside of it, or had one for a while, and now finally has decided, like, yeah, we're not even going to hide it anymore. We're going to provide, you know, a full emulation layer for Linux. But for the longest time, down in the NT kernel, they had, you know, they had even the file structure, the directory structure, you know, host files and all that stuff, mostly around the networking and things. So, You put in Steam on the base system and then added in Steam devices on it. Ubuntu 2304, and it works like it was native. There you go. There you go. Yeah, that works. That works quite well, I would say. That is cool. I wonder. So how have you been? How's things going? You playing more Starfield? You keeping up with Star Citizen at all? You know, what's up with you? I'm seeing a lot more interest being generated in Star Citizen now. Like videos are cropping up constantly now. Like, look at all this stuff in Star Citizen now. Like, wow, geez. Suddenly, you know, they had one good showing, and now all of a sudden, like, the money's rolling back in again. You know? Does that mean, you know, if they can just get some of that code out to us to play, that'd be swell. Not sleeping much, been messing with Linux so much, yeah. It is one of those like pits, right? You start working on one thing, and then but before you know it, it's, you know, 10 hours have gone by. I know, it still has nothing new in the game, I know, but it's generated, like, all those videos and stuff for CitizenCon generated so much hype around the game, you know? For me, I'm keeping my money from them. Yeah. No, I hear you. I've already put enough money into it. I'm just kind of waiting for some of the stuff we saw to start rolling back into something that we can actually get our hands on and play. You know, whether it's Squadron 14 or whether it's Star Citizen, you know. 10, try 2 days, yeah. Yeah, I know. You start down that rabbit hole, and then it just time just melts away. You know? I get it. That's a 404. I can't even find that. These are one name stem chat message. Yeah, I think I might have to pull this out into its own controller. Because I'm getting a feeling like this request mapping here somehow is maybe throwing off the WebSocket stuff. Which I'm not entirely upset about. I mean, the chat stuff could stand to have its own controller outside of the channel. So let's do that and just try to make this look as close to this sample or example as we can. Just to eliminate any goofballness that might be at play here. You don't have Squadron 42? Yeah. I mean, I contributed enough to their initial their initial Kickstarter, I should have Squadron 42. But, I mean, we'll see. I like the idea it's taken well over 10 years to make a single player game with so many people working on it as solo dev and at the same time made 2 games. You make a single player game. Yeah. I mean, that's what happens when you're, you know. It's the difference between getting something that's good enough and just trying to suck as much money as you can out of something and keep it going, you know. Squadron 42 didn't need to be groundbreaking or revolutionary. It just needed to be fun and to work. But because there was so much feature creep and all that stuff, and then the idea that they're then going to take it and roll all those features into a persistent universe and all that stuff, you know, an MMO, they just kind of let it spiral out of control, you know. You have a listing for it if you haven't. Oh yeah, I'm pretty sure I have it. I'm pretty sure I have it on my account because I backed at the $100 level back in the day, so I'm pretty sure I have that. Let's see here. Oh, that's right. I got the IAE going on too. Forgot about all that. Wait, where's the? Already have an account. There we go. Oh, hang on. I gotta get my password thing up here. Oh, did I? Oh, I hit the wrong thing. I hit the camera. That's the other one. There we go. Do I have a... Wait a minute. Do I have an authenticator thing for this? I say. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let me bring this up now. There we go. So I think I have like my hanger, right? Pledge. No. Not what I was looking for. My gear game pack. Alright. Yeah, so I have the Avenger Titan and this one, and then what do I have for like hanger stuff? Nothing, of course. I'm pretty sure. It doesn't say on here, but I'm pretty sure I have access to it. I'll be very upset if I don't, because I have 2 packages there. You know? Disney content basic, yeah. Yeah. So that's what we have there. I should probably pop on there maybe like Sunday or something and just kind of poke my head in and look around, get whatever freebie goodies are giving out for IAE or whatever it's still going, and see what's happening there. So they did this. Controller, green controller. Okay. So let's see. I don't think I have it from it being listed others in their hangar. I don't know. They had some weird problem with my account because I originally backed them when they were doing their own thing on their own site, and then they said, "Oh, we got everybody whose emails, we're on the original site. We're doing a Kickstarter now, and then you got to tell us, and then we'll transfer them over for the Kickstarter." And then I contacted them about it. I didn't hear really anything about it. Then I went into the Kickstarter and backed them on Kickstarter as well when they were there. So I ended up with like 2 different packages, but they're, it's, I don't know, some weird issue they had there. So I don't know. We'll find out. We'll find out what happens when it, in 5 or 6 years when it eventually comes out. Whether I have access to it or not, I guess. So wait, what is playing? Something playing sounds here? Apparently something is, but we can't hear it. All right, so yeah, I guess we'll do chat controller. Chat controller. Now they have it here. They just put the controller and grab this out of here. logger here. Okay. So if this makes any difference. As far as that's concerned. I'm a little worried that, like, I mean, they had examples of these replacements out on the web, but not in the examples. So I'm wondering if that's, like, somehow throwing it off too. All right, let's see. See if I can get us a playlist going here. What are we in the mood for here? I could do... Try some lo-fi. See how that works. Okay. Get a little bit more of a chill vibe going.
I'm afraid I can't stay.
We're for channel. So I just have channel name. Or for status. Oh. 404 status, huh? That's 8080. I do 8443. I get a 400 back. Okay. Just letting games install to test out how games play on BlendOS. That was a 400 unexpected server response. The 400 is just bad request. So, I mean, let's look at this 8443. So, if I go back to this guy and I say, oh, user one name. An error with WebStock event. One error. Maybe it's not supposed to go to hex WebSocket because that's the part that kind of seems a little bit weird to me. Well, I mean, I guess it's not that weird, but like, shouldn't it go to chat.js? Right. Chat client bit. Oh, so that, well, I mean, it wants the broker URL, which makes sense, but let's do 443 here. Failed. Just failed. Protocol versions. I wonder if I just have a mismatched protocol version. C2, the FPS rate is over. For games were laggy. Some harder ones like EVE Online, it kind of works on Linux. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if you can get the ones that even, you know, that were even designed for Linux to run at a really good frame rate, then that's a good deal all around, man. You know? I wonder if it's the Halo Infinite. Yep. I wonder if it's the protocol. Because it says 1.3 there. And I wonder if I don't have that particular protocol setup, protocol version. Okay, so they're using Stump.js 700. Stump.js 700. What are they up to now? Oh yeah, 700 is the latest tag. Weird. Ones that work good, not worried. I want to know if it's better games than the other ones like Nibara. There was some games, but like all Linux has issues still with games. Yeah. 120, 165 FPS on Linux. Yep. The game plays half that Windows. Yeah, exactly. I mean, those are the ones you want to find the most out of, right? But also ones that don't have all like the artifacting and or bad shadows and other like hardware kind of weirdness, What is... Where unlocks you need additional configuration. Yes, stop client. WS or WS? But what is the... headers? Drive, broker, your broker. Huh. Right, you look at a wall and see it's not there. Yeah, in Linux, yeah, exactly. That's transaction header. Right. Repeating is enabled by default. Automatic reconnecting in case of connection failure is controlled by an option. Default value is 5 seconds. The connection drop. Sure. Here your broker, binary messages. Pushing binary messages. Don't really need that right now. So in spring, that topic, okay. And all of this mappings, map handle. Message handling controller. Wait, wait a second. Your Java class name WebSocket config that resembles the following listing. Java.com example messaging stomp webs. Where the hell is that at? Source? Main. Config. Your message broker. Register from input. So I have that. Right, we got what have I got here? I've got X WebSocket config. WebSocket message broker configure. I have the WebSocket message broker configurer. What do they have? Yeah, WebSocket message broker configurer. Okay, implement. Configure message broker, register stomp endpoint. Enable WebSocket message broker. Endpoints. Configure message broker. Enable WebSocket message broker. It's at configuration. But maybe they just have the add endpoint. So let's do this. Let's get rid of all that. Do that for a second. Make sure that I'm kind of making it as close as I can to what was there. In the example, if I can't get the example to work, which is entirely possible, then I'm gonna have to figure something else out. Oh boy. Tired tonight, my friends. Really am. But you know, it is what it is. I get if I want to accomplish here. I'm very excited to see how many people are streaming now on LiveSpace. Got lots of people over there. More and more keep coming every week. The place is really jumping now, which is very, very cool to see. I think it's a good place, and you know, once everybody's back from their vacations, Hopefully we can start to see some lots of changes, maybe hopefully coming down the pike, good ones. See what happens with it. And then I was looking at share plays a little bit today. You know, logged on, and I didn't join the beta. I logged on. I was watching some streams, or trying to at least, and you know, everything looks okay over there for now. I just hope, you know, I hope people find a place that they can call home, wherever that place is, because you know, it's just you know, content creators, I feel like have been sort of set adrift a little bit. I mean, we've seen a little bit of this. There was a blow up on Twitter recently about YouTube content creators, and you know, I threw my hat in the ring on that one. I was not happy about what was said. Basically, an indie game dev was talking about the release of their game. The Spirit, it wasn't actually the game dev, it was the game publisher, I should say. Indie publisher. The game devs themselves haven't said anything as far as I know. But the publisher of game Spirit Tea went on Twitter and was kind of talking about their launch and what, you know, went right about it, and how they got all kinds of, you know, they got all kinds of players through like more traditional means, like on Steam and you know, Steam recommendations and things like that. And they kind of pointed out, they said, you know, and those darn YouTube content creators, screw them, they didn't do anything for us. They wanted us to pay them to do stuff. And I took a little offense to that, and not so much the pay part, but the you know, the content creators did nothing for us, because they showed a screenshot that there were people made YouTube videos on their game, on the game, and then any quick YouTube search would see that there were videos out there for the game that just were made basically for free. And hey, Valiant Thor, welcome. Channel surfing, huh? Having dinner, saving the world. Cool. Good to know. Good to know. Welcome on in. I'm just kind of chatting and writing some code here and there, as I do on Friday nights. So yeah, I was kind of like, I was a little miffed by that, because I've done a lot of first impressions videos and things, hundreds of them over the years, and I've had developers give me keys to their games. Sometimes they'll just give them to me. They won't even say, do you want one? Which I'm not a huge fan of. They also have to consider how much it could take to promote a game when you stream or make YouTube videos. But it's an edit video. Oh yeah, exactly. Exactly, Tech. It's like, they were basically, the indie publisher was being like, ew, I'm not paying YouTubers for reviews of my game, of this game that we're publishing. Ew, that's icky. And most YouTubers agree. You know, like, oh, excuse me. most YouTubers would agree with that. You know, most YouTubers don't want to be, I mean, they want to be paid, but for a review video, most, you know, kind of either would prefer not to be paid for a review, or would be very, very upfront about the terms of that payment. Like, you're not paying for my opinion on your game. I'm still going to give, if your game sucks, I'm going to tell people your game sucks, kind of thing. And, you know, streamers do the same thing all the time. They review quote unquote review a game. They'll usually say, like, I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm not going to, and most publishers are fine with that. They want you to tell it like it is. Right? But that's a review, right? And a review is a very different beast from a preview or a showing, a general showing of the game, you know? Like if I'm sitting down and I'm playing a game for half an hour to an hour, right? And it's a sponsored block. Number one, it's going to say sponsored all over the place. You're going to get sick of seeing the word sponsored and hearing the word sponsored, right? Because, you know, especially in the US, the FCC is very strict on that kind of thing, right? And also, I like the transparency of it. I like transparency in general. I want people to know, you know, hey, I might have kid gloves on. I might. You know, I might not be as harsh on this game because, you know, I'm getting paid to show it to you. Right? So at that point, you're paying for ad. You're paying for advertising. Right? One streamer I know does a trick, says, I'll review it, but I want X number of keys to give away. And you can say good or bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's the same, it's a similar thing, right? It's like, you know, you're not paying for a review, you're paying for essentially an ad. You're paying for word of mouth at that point. And I don't, you know, and that's where the line is, like, there shouldn't be any problem with that necessarily, right? Because you're paying for that person's time at that point and their effort. You know, they're getting paid to, you know, for a simple YouTube video, they're getting paid to edit that video and put all the research into it and effort into it and all that stuff. For stream, still, you're paying for that person's time. They're taking time out of what they would normally be streaming to stream your game, which may or may not be a game that is in their normal wheelhouse, you know? They may just say, oh, you know, well, I'll try this. If you're going to pay me, I'll try it, you know, that kind of thing. You know, I'll show it to my audience. You're paying for the eyeballs at that point. So that shouldn't be the problem. And a lot of people took umbrage of, you know, just we're not ever supposed to get paid for this stuff, which is an important point. You know, if you're being specifically commissioned to make a video of something, you know, part of that is you're getting paid for it probably. You know, if a dev is giving you a key and saying, please take a look at this, you're not obligated to do so, right? But if they're paying for your time, then you're kind of obligated. Then you're paying for time, right? But for me personally, I've never needed or wanted a dev to pay me directly because I'm just a hobbyist and I have a career, so I don't really need the money that this would generate, but I wouldn't begrudge anyone else from getting that bag either, as long as they're being upfront about it and being honest about it, you know, to everyone who wants to hear about it, you know. So most of my, they're not even reviews. Most of my first impressions videos, my critiques, are games that I paid for myself, you know? There are a few in there, maybe 6 or 7 over the years that were keys given to me by developers. Oftentimes those are keys that were given to me because the game wasn't out yet, and so I was getting a preview of it before the early access or whatever. I'm like, okay, sure, we'll do that. But most of the time, you know, if I get it, even if I get given a key without asking for one, which happens a lot, I'll usually just ignore that and go buy a copy if it's something that I think I want to make a video on. Because for me, in my mind, that sort of absolves me of needing to be positive about it. If I want to be negative about it, I can be negative about it. Although I generally try to be positive about things anyway, or at least constructive about things. It's and it's also like I'm actually supporting them. So even if they never watched the video, they still got money for their game out of me, and I'm still supporting them monetarily, you know. And that was the other thing that kind of really rubbed me, right? It wasn't the money part that rubbed me. It was the we got no support that rubbed me from YouTubers, because obviously people made videos for free of their game. They definitely got some support. It's just the support they got wasn't the million views that they wanted. You know, they were all small YouTubers that, you know, had a couple hundred views or 1,000, couple thousand views, right? And that so pisses me off, because it's just like, it's been like that for so long, where companies just completely ignore the smaller YouTubers because they don't bring in the audience that they're looking for, or enough of an audience that they're looking for. It's like, and yet those YouTubers are probably exactly the kinds of people you want playing your game, because you don't know what kind of reach they can actually have. You know, they might have a word of mouth that goes, you know, they might not have a very big audience. They might only have a few hundred people that are actually in their audience, but I'll bet most of those people in that audience probably looked at that game and went, oh yeah, no, this is definitely in my wheelhouse, you know? And then they in turn went and told their friend, you know? And so that's always been that thing that just kind of bugs the crap out of me when they're like, we got no support for this. And it's like, yes, you did. It may not have been the numbers that you wanted to see, but it was definitely support. And oh, by the way, you know, you talk about how, you know, the YouTubers came in and made videos, and they didn't really help us out at all. They didn't really help our numbers. And then you in turn did not go out and do anything for those YouTubers either, right? Like, so often you put a video up of a game and there's nothing. Like, the devs don't tweet about your video. They don't acknowledge it. They don't leave a comment saying, hey, thanks for the video, or anything like that. It's just like, it's like you didn't exist. And so that whole Twitter thread just like triggered me for a completely different reason than it triggered a lot of other people. And it's been kind of going on for a few days now, and it's starting to get to the point where, you know, you're getting people who are more articulate finally chiming in on it and saying, like, this is how things are. This is how the industry works. This is how things have changed since, you know, the last time this particular topic came up, you know, back in the Gamergate days. Although it was ticking me off that there were some editors for review sites, game review sites, chiming in being like, well, looks like that whole kerfuffle about Gamergate, looks like everyone's changed their tune on it. It's like, no, dude, they didn't change their tune on it. You're just purposely misreading the situation for clicks, like you always do. And it's a sad state of affairs of the journalism department for gaming that you're still ambulance chasing. You know what I mean? Like, all these years later, you were called out for ambulance chasing in the first place, and now all these years later, you just continue to do it. So you'd rather have a Linux distro contact you over a game maker? Sure. I mean, there's a lot of different, analogs out there. Do you think everyone has some sort of set of standards that they follow. You look at your tech channels, your Linus Tech Tips and your Jay's 2 Cents and your Gamers Nexus and things like that, where they review things. They do actual, I guess Linus Tech Tips maybe doesn't do actual reviews, but they do like review stuff, and they do get paid sometimes to promote things, but they're really careful about about the messaging around that stuff, because they have to be, right? Like, this is a paid promotion versus this is us going off on our own and reviewing this. And a lot of times when they review something, it's something that was loaned to them, so that they could review it. It was hardware that was on loan to them, so that they could properly review it and put it through its paces. They're not necessarily going out. Sometimes they are, but they're not necessarily going out and buying all this hardware, thousands of dollars of hardware, just to put it through its paces. Sometimes they are. A lot of times they aren't. Especially if it's early preview hardware and stuff. So, but for some reason, games are different. I was like, I don't know why. I don't know why you would think that. We can talk about nuance and all the other review types, but suddenly a game comes into play, and then there's no room for nuance again. Very weird take on it. And that kind of just set me off. It's not often that I will jump into a pissing match on X or Twitter, because it's all engagement baiting a lot of times. Especially if they have a blue check mark next to their name, they're all trying to get their ad revenue out of X. But that thing just that set me off. As someone who's been doing YouTube since 2013, that just set me into the stratosphere. That triggered me like most things don't. Is this video sponsored by Linode? Yeah. I would let you know, Deedway. If it was, I would let you know. Oh man. Anyway, that was my moment where I was like, I Someone is wrong on the internet. I cannot go to bed right now. that was my my come to Jesus moment. There. It was a lame one in the grand scheme of things, but it was, you know, it was something near and dear to me. Oh man. Although I guess maybe I'm just in that critical mood this week. I guess, yeah. Keeping my eyes open, my ears open to all the different like platforms, all the streaming services and everything. And it's interesting, man. There's stuff. Everybody's got their own take, and it's not necessarily that any there's no one take that's wrong or bad. It's just I just sometimes wonder how many I wonder how far into left field people think streamers will and not even streamers, how far into left field they think viewers will go to see some of these other sites going on. You know, so I mean they're all having the same, they're all ultimately having the same issue, which is how do you convince viewers to come over and try a different site? And it's a difficult question. You know, people get very, very used to a certain vibe, I guess, or a certain pattern of how to, you know, access things and how things work and memes and all that stuff, and then you ask them to switch to a different platform and suddenly everything becomes very difficult again. They have to relearn something new, you know, relearn the quirks of a new platform and all that stuff. Hey, girl on Twitch, I get them to like sheep to jump to their OnlyFans so fast. It's true. It's true. But, you know, the problem there, Tech, is I'm not exactly OnlyFans material. In fact, I think probably most of us in the gaming sphere are not OnlyFans material. We definitely have radio faces, I would say. We definitely have the face for radio. But I don't want to include everybody in that. There are certain few who could make it, but I'm definitely not one of them. Bethesda sure jumped over the women streamers who never played any space game to promote it. Yeah. Well, and I wonder how much of that was Bethesda and how much of that was just Twitch, right? Because Twitch tends to like to be the one brokering the deal, right? So I feel like they probably went to Twitch and said, we need people to promote this. And Twitch put a bounty out and just, you know, people who don't normally play games just snatched it up and said, whatever, we'll do this. And then because it was a Bethesda game, it had a certain hype around it, and they, you know, made it a little postage stamp size window on their screen while they were, you know, doing whatever else, you know? Swimming suit, let's see. Let's first see how you do. Yeah, right. Yeah, it won't go well. I can guarantee you it won't go well. Miss the real space game players? Yeah. 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 It's well, I mean, and that's the thing, right? It's a Bethesda game. And Bethesda is known for RPGs. And so a lot of people who like Skyrim or who like Fallout were like, oh, it's a Bethesda RPG. It's going to be like a Fallout or like a Skyrim. And it was to a fault, but it also was its own thing. And it was enough of its own thing that those players that normally enjoy those other Bethesda type RPGs didn't necessarily enjoy Starfield, you know? And so it was a blessing and a curse. It would have been better if Todd Howard had just spun off a subsidiary called, you know, Bethesda or something, and that had no connection, at least on paper, to Bethesda, and had it go under that name, and maybe they would have gotten more of the genre appropriate players on it, you know. Just love the idea that it's a space game. Yeah. That's the thing, right? Like, to you or I who've played space games, it's really not a space game. The space part of it's actually kind of crappy. But to someone that doesn't play space games, it was too much of a space game for them, which is just the hilarious part of it. You know what I mean? 90% of them overhyped ones ran once and they played it for 5 minutes. Yeah. No, I get it. You know? But, I mean, let's face it too. It's been a year of really good games. If it had been a slow year, I bet more people would still be on Starfield. I mean, I'd certainly still be playing more of it. I like the game, you know? But the simple fact is, we keep getting good games getting released this year. And so it's like, I have to pick my battles. You know what I mean? You know, I played through a full run of Starfield and into the new game plus, which is just kind of more the same, and I intend on getting back to it, but at the same time there's so much else that's just on my radar that I want to do, you know. So, and lots of code changing where you can have space stations and much more. Oh yeah, no, definitely. And it sounded like they wanted to turn it into a platform where they would keep doing updates like that, where you'd have space stations and things like that to the base code. You know, it's just... Oh no, I have. I've looked at Spaceborne and Spaceborne 2. Spaceborne, I have to finish Spaceborne. I'm about, I want to say 10 hours into it. And I need to just continue that playthrough at some point. Spaceborne 2 I played when it came out. the first early access that came out. I played for about 2 hours, and I said, okay, it's still in early access. I'm going to revisit this. But right now, I put it on the sidebar right now because it doesn't have, like when I played it didn't have any music. Well, it had music, but it wasn't great. Like it was mostly silent. I was like, I would like this to be a little bit more cooked. I want some good. Spaceborne 1 had some fantastic music, and I'm like, I'm missing that in Spaceborne 2. I want some of that back. We beat them to it for solo game dev. It's really good. Oh no, I totally agree. For solo dev, it's fantastic. It's got the solo dev jank, but it's not. It doesn't detract from the game itself. The gameplay is solid. I don't necessarily like the controls in Spaceborne 2. I like the controls better in Spaceborne 1, where, left click was your lasers, right click was your missiles, and that was that. And now they've kind of added additional hard points and stuff, and it's just like, I feel like they took a formula that worked really well, and they kind of messed it up by making it a little more complicated. Which I wasn't too thrilled about. But it's not a game. It's not a insurmountable problem, right? Fixed up a ton on 2 already. Has so much one can do, and it's so solid. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Like I said, I'm waiting for it to cook a little bit more before I get back to it. Because I got just so much on the plate right now. I still got Super Mario RPG I'm in the middle of. I was just playing Chants of Sonar Thursday night and Wednesday night, which is a really cool puzzle game where you learn, you try and decipher languages, alien languages and stuff. Pretty cool. I'm in kind of a puzzly mood lately, so I've got a couple puzzle games I want to do, and yeah, a lot like RPGs and all that stuff. Got tons of things on the list. We liked the storyline, how he kept it going, and too. Yeah, that's the thing. I wanted to finish Spaceborne 1 to get the full oh, apologies on that. I tried to hit the mute, but it didn't get there fast enough. I want to finish the main story in Spaceborne 1 so I can fully enjoy where Spaceborne 2 picks up, and that's the one thing I do want to get back to at some point is doing that. But there's just so much to play, and that's what it comes down to. There's only one of me and so many other games, so many games just sitting in the library, and I wanted to get back to some indie games too, because I've been doing a lot of higher budget games, double A's, triple A's, and they're good and they're fantastic, but there's so many like indie games that have released in the last couple months with all this other stuff going on that have completely gone under the radar because everyone's looking at the other big releases, or the anticipated releases, and they're missing these gems that are just kind of getting overlooked. So I've been trying to kind of backtrack a little bit and sort of, circle around and bring those back into the fold, So we'll see how that works its way out there. If it does, how successful I am with that. I mean, the one nice thing that I have going for me is, I'm now in the sort of lull period, where it's the end of the year. We got our production release done. Well, it's not done, but it's the QA is finished and it's solid as far as we know. And it's just a lot of paperwork now and pushing buttons, get it out to where it needs to be. And then it's just a lot of like sort of, we tend to have a lot of downtime at the very end of the year because everyone's exhausted. So everyone just starts taking their as much vacation as they can. So like half the company is gone for most of, most of December. So it's nice in that I can kind of, this is my time where I finally get to spend some more time doing some streaming and getting things together. And, I got a ton of videos just kind of sitting on my computer here that I need to edit at some point and get them out on the YouTubes and like things that from months ago. They're just kind of sitting here. And just, in general, just trying to get all this stuff, get back to, bring the hobby back into view again for a little while, before I get busy again, And hopefully at some point, my sinuses will dry up so I stop coughing constantly. This is the part of the year that sucks. Because this is where I have trouble sleeping at night because I'm like drowning in my own phlegm. As disgusting as that sounds, it's just like I can't. And eventually it all, like, my sinuses will dry back up again and then I'll be fine. But it's like the transition, the weather transition always gets me. Still think I should make a game. I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about maybe opening up Godot and maybe slapping some things together in there. Maybe not even Godot. Maybe I'll just like rock some RPG Maker or something. The problem with that is the problem with that is I struggle to context switch between hobbies. Like at work I can context switch all the time, but when it comes to hobbies, like I do enjoy making this, streaming service stuff. But if I put this aside and I then work on something else, it will be hard for me to come back to this and do more work on this. Like, it's not like one of those things where I can say, like, Saturdays I work on this, Sundays I work on that. I would have a lot of difficulties switching between the two, Unreal, go big or don't go. Unreal is... How can I put this nicely? Unreal gets too much attention sometimes. You know what I mean? Unreal is a good engine, But that doesn't mean it's the only engine anyone should ever look at, right? Like Godot has some good stuff too. You can make some good stuff in Godot. It may not necessarily have all the same bells and whistles, but you can still make some pretty decent things out of it. So I get it. It's like, well, if you're going to do this, use Unreal. It's like, sure, but I can also use this other thing that is open source and is constantly being updated and supported by the community and doesn't have a giant corporate backer behind it that's, demanding the payment of your firstborn child, You know what I mean? The game, the nice thing is you see it being made, parts and testing. Well, sure, but there's still going to be streams where it's just code. You're not really seeing anything happening. Sure, there's going to be, a lot of the engine stuff, a lot of the boring stuff is already done, and you can start to see like the rapid prototyping and stuff. There's still a lot of boring stuff when it comes to game dev. And I guess one of the interesting things about that is having a script of some kind, because if I were to do a game, I would like to do one that was like an RPG, and that means sitting down and writing some stuff, writing a story, which is something I enjoyed as a kid. I was writing stories. I can't say that my writing skills are particularly top notch, but they might be halfway decent at this point. But that would be interesting to have, like a writing stream, right? Where it's just like, all right, we gotta sit down, we gotta write some characters, we gotta write some backstory, we gotta write a universe. So that might be like an interesting part of it too. Yeah, have a story script to follow along, right? Have character bibles, that kind of thing. So from that perspective, I could see that being like having some interesting streams there, that I wouldn't get otherwise. But yeah, it's the switching back and forth that I don't know that I want to do that in hobbyist mode, because they're both going to suffer. This is what happens. Like, I've done hobby stuff before, not on stream, and every time I've switched to something else, I was like, oh, I'll just put this aside for a moment and I'll go do this other thing that I'm interested in. I end up not making any more progress on the thing I dropped, and then the thing I pick up I end up working on for a few weeks, and then dropping that altogether, and not going back, and then suddenly I have something new that I want to work on. Like I need to, unfortunately I need the consistency of like, all right, every week we're gonna work on this, we're gonna get this going, we're gonna make some progress here, and eventually this will get to a point where there'll be a lot more visual stuff to look at, and be able to kind of move it along a little bit faster, hopefully. It's just a lot of my hangups right now are I'm using technologies I don't normally use, and I'm trying to learn how they work, and the only way to do that is to fail miserably at it until you succeed. most is making linkers and actions. And a laid out story script to follow along, like a book. Each page is part of the game. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know most of it is like you don't have to do quite as much scripting as you used to. I mean, that's why you see a lot of games being made by predominantly people who are just artists, you know, because the tools are good enough now that they can kind of almost visually program it. And hell, it's not going to be long before you got like a chat GPT generating some code for you too in there. I'm sure both Unity and probably the Godot engine maintainers are probably all looking at, you know, how can we integrate, you know, GitHub Copilot or something like that into our development environment to help even more. There was something I was looking at. I don't even know. It was like something on. It was something on Twitter. I didn't really look deeper at it because I had too many other things on my plate. But there is some kind of AI-powered application thing that people were using. AI application creator. This is not it. No, that's where was the I'll probably never find it because I'm using all the wrong. Search terms here, but there was a. Yeah, it looked really interesting. I don't think I can find it though. Conversational tool, I don't want that. I doubt I'd find it on on Twitter if I went looking for it. None of these are. I don't think this is. No, it's. I don't. I'll never remember the name of it because it was just like one of those Silicon Valley tech names, right? It just, you could never possibly remember the name of it. Huh. Yeah, I don't know. I can't find it there. I wonder, just out of curiosity. Out of curiosity, if I could see. It's looking real fast through their stuff. I don't see it. I don't see it there. Nope, nothing in my attempts here. Nothing to be seen. Anyway, I will, let's come back to where I'm at here. And did I stop that? Synchronized it. Alright, let's go start. See if I've made any kind of dent in this or change in it to make any kind of sense. I did WS. Oh, 404. Name chat message. All right. So, but on the page itself, reload. It's just flat out failing, and I don't know why. What else am I? It was just saying error with what I was talking about. It's not really giving me an actual error that I know what to do with. All right. So. Nothing there. Using stump WebSocket. Green controller. Mapping hello, topic greetings. So greeting. Okay. Yes. Body content. The import no stock HTTP headers. I was using the Stomp client to test it. Yeah, fine. Renal doesn't have a why is that? Why do WS? Oh wait, subscribe to chat. Really? Is that all I was missing? Oops. Test. Send. I don't show. I don't show what I sent, right? Or do I? Row chat box. Oh, I do put a row chat box there. If I do test again. What else is not working there? But we're getting somewhere. Jesus, it was literally just that. It didn't have the WS. Eating life right now. Just send this channel name, send chat message. Okay. Oh, so it should be doing. I should be seeing a receive message here. Let's see. No, that's not getting called. sure that's getting called. And this. Okay, that got called. That message test. Message is test. Destination is /@/user1 name, then chat message. Okay. And then body message. Yes. I sent that, but it didn't come back. So either there was an error. Not look like there was an error there. What came back from network here? Try that again. Oh, you know what? I don't have preserve log on. Maybe. I'm not seeing actual network activity. I mean, this should be WebSockets. Should be seeing everything. But let's just see here. Control. No, yeah, it's all. So there's nothing in the console. I have console errors here if there was an error. Let me see here. We're getting somewhere, at least. Chat controller. Now names set chat message or send chat message. They had app there. That's what they had in their test, right? Or in their example, I mean. Yes. Provide topic greetings. Okay, published destination is App hello. Body. Oh, they did body JSON stringify. Which I didn't do, did I? No. Stringify. Okay. I will do that and see if that makes a difference. These message, all right. Send that. Send it. Next web socket. Calls. There we go. Send destination. Link 18 message test. But didn't get anything back. Didn't get any. It didn't get anything back to say from that broker. Topic chat user one name. So oh, there we go. New standard WebSocket session. Okay. Processing, connect, processing, subscribe. But it didn't do anything. Oh, because I'm an idiot. I said it for /hex, not /app. Okay. That one was definitely on me. The WSS one, I'm not so sure that was on me, but that one there was definitely on me. Just grab the chat. Yes. Where's my network at here? Next WebSocket. Okay. Oh, and we received a message. Channel name, user one name.
But it's not a thing about making it.
There it is.
It's a thing about making it feel right.
Yeah, message destination, description message, message ID, message test, channel name, user one name. Test. Another test. Okay. We got very, 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 very basic chat going. So here's the question. I have this here, so if I go and I can just duplicate this.
You know, take out, if it's an accident, that's an error.
Duplicate
that feels
this.
good, then you leave it in.
Pull it out here. Right.
You know,
And we'll just say yep, there it is. Showed up on there. There it is. Okay. So no tricks up my sleeve. It's actually working. It's actually connected. We have
feel right.
the most basic chat you could ever possibly freaking have. Wow, that took a lot longer than I thought it was going to take. Jesus. And it looks to be like I am curious if that would still work under the other controller. But honestly, I'm okay with chat having its own controller that's not under the channel name.
It's not
Because
about
that
being
kind of
out
keeps this controller clean, where it's just dealing with
there,
channel
getting it to feel
stuff, kind of, sort of. I think the only thing there is when we start doing events and stuff. Well, even that, I think those can have their own controller and it will still be okay. Because they're all just publishing on the same topic, essentially, the same channel topic. It's just everything dealing with that channel is not necessarily under the same controller, which I think is okay. I think is okay. Okay. That is kind of crazy. So now I'm wondering, in here,
you know, take out, if it's an accident, that's an error that feels good, then you leave it in. You know, you want those.
so I get 404 response there. But if I do, and I'm wondering, I want to see if I can test with Postman here, because that would be really awesome. What I want to do, so where is the network? There we go. So the broker is this, right? And so we do this next. Oh, see, this is connected now, where it wasn't connected before. So I think definitely me moving that into its own controller was definitely necessary, I think. Because we had tried some combination of this before and it wasn't working. We're connected to the WebSocket, so then I can send a message here. I can send one of these messages. So if I say this one here, go select all, paste. Yep, there's test over there. Do it again. Yep, there's test again. All right, so I can use Postman to test these things, assuming I have the correct message in here. Which it looks like all I really need is the command, the destination. Content length is going to be a little bit tricky. I wonder if I can do it without the content length. If I took that out there. That's the look. Okay. So that's good, because that means I have the one WebSocket. I can now send to multiple destinations, and I can see things there. Now, this is just the sending. So let's do something here. Let's go. Can I change the name of this? Is there a way to change the name of this? Guess not. Okay. Great click. Save. Okay, good. That's the broker. This is send chat message. And then make a duplicate of the duplicate of it. Use chat messages. And then this one would then be scribe. Right. So subscribe to that. Then over here, you can send that test. So look at receive. I wonder if that just doesn't work that way. With this. I don't know why that one is. It has a thing on it, but subscribe to it. but I can't run it from a different tab here. Like I can send that message, but I can't receive it over here. Interesting. I mean, that might be just a limitation. Obviously, it's a limitation of Postman, but maybe I'm not setting it up right on there. Settings. So let me see. Postman WebSocket. Oof, excuse me. WebSocket request server URL. Centers. Okay. XML. Okay. Oh, there's another thing called API Dog, which happens to be their blog, so that's why they're doing that. Unify message timeline. Ooh, excuse me. No, alright. So, that's fine. I mean, at least I can send something to it, or I can listen for it and have it. Well, I mean, so, okay. This is listening right now. If I jump over to the web page here, and I go yet another test, send that. Huh, that doesn't show up in here, huh? I'm wondering if the ID is what's making it not copacetic here. No, it's not receiving them. Interesting. Even though they are being sent out. Okay. Well, I mean, it's alright. We have another way of testing some of it. So that's fine. That works out for me. Alright. This is good. So far so good. This is very basic channel stuff. So I guess the other part of this is making sure. So if I duplicate this, and then I say user name, which I don't think it's actually going to stop me, isn't it? Because I put that in there. Yeah. All right. So I need to get a second user and make sure that one is not seeing the same chat, which it shouldn't, because they should be two separate topics. But yeah, I'm fairly confident that will probably work okay. So that's good. So we're taking basic stomp protocol messages in for chat, which means that anyone writing a chatbot or something that needs to communicate over the WebSocket, as long as they're using like Stomp.js or something like that, they should be good to go. That should be pretty straightforward for any third parties trying to do something. So that's good. The other thing, I want to dig into is, sure, there's going to be a WebSocket that will have, on the WebSocket topic, the events will go off. So like, a follower or a subscriber or something like that. So those events will go off on the WebSocket because that'll be useful for the web. However, for third-party developers, I also want to provide them with just a public API, because it doesn't need it. It would be a webhook, and a webhook doesn't necessarily need to have any security or anything around it, as far as I can tell, at least in this particular case. So I like to provide some of those events on a webhook, a public webhook that someone could just register for and see those get published that way without having to go through the big rigmarole of connecting an app and all that stuff. I think that would be a pretty good way of going about of having that as well. And I think for events, I think that's probably a fairly safe bet, because there's not really any information there that wouldn't be otherwise public, I think that would be good. And I think just for performance reasons, you wouldn't want chat to go through that. You just want, something like events that don't trigger that often, in theory at least. So we'll see, because I've never done a webhook either, so it'll be interesting, an interesting thing to learn and see if that would work out the way I'd want it to, for events and stuff. So, but beyond that, I can take a look at events tomorrow if I want to. I might want to, just for sake of argument. But then also we've got a very, very basic functioning chat right now. So there's going to be a lot of work that have to go into the chat and making it look decent and making it work well. And I need to be able to dig into that broker a little bit and see who is actually connected to chat, so I can do things based on that, and so on and so forth. And then we can get into like emotes and all that stuff. So I think we're getting there. We're moving along, my friends. But I'm gonna probably stop there for tonight, because I think that's a good stopping point. Let's go and commit what I've got so far, and like I said, we'll call it there. So commit. And we'll do... Oh, these are... Oops. These should be ignore. Ignore. There we go. And those will get pulled down and moved over. So then we'll add all that in there. And yeah, that should be good. So initial chat functionality, we'll say there, and commit and push. There it is. Push that out there, so we're good there for now. Setting your OBS up now. Now what to do tonight? Yeah, I haven't actually upgraded to OBS 30 yet, because I've heard it broke quite a bit of stuff. It's introduced a lot of good stuff, but it's also kind of broken a lot of stuff, and I haven't had a chance to really sit down and refix everything that it breaks. So, because there's a couple things I wanted to change anyway, like some of my transitions and stuff. So, that's still on my list to do. I might do that Sunday when I'm not streaming. That'll give me a whole day to futz around with it. But yeah, no, that'll do it for me for tonight, my friends. Let's see if I can go find you guys someone on LiveSpace to go take a look at whilst we are here. I mean, there's a lot of people on right now on LiveSpace. Let's see if there's someone under creative. There is. I don't know what they're doing though. Is which video is it still on? Let me see here. Yeah, I just found out that Restream is messed up and more. Restream is messed up and more. Yeah. There was some game development going on. I don't think he's still going. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think he's still going. But I will send you guys to Marine Veteran, who is playing some Satisfactory, it looks like. Yeah, oh yeah, definitely Satisfactory. You can go check him out on LiveSpace. And what do we got over here on Kick? I don't have enough to host out on Kick, but we can still take a look around and see if I can pop a link in chat here. Let's go under the creative section as we do. It will load someday soon. Building Legos. Okay. Miniatures, video production, 3D printing. There is It shows 6 on kick. Does it? Because it was not showing me 6 earlier. I'll look again. I was in my panel. It was not showing that. Who do we got? We got someone who says it's their first stream. And they are definitely doing software development. I don't know. It looks like C# maybe. Don't know exactly what they're working on, but looks like something. And now just dropped the 3. Yeah, I was gonna say it was not. It didn't look like it was enough there. But for those on Kick, you can. You said right out they ran. Well, for those who are still hanging around, you can check out Dev House there. See what they're up to as far as the software development is concerned. I've never seen them before. They're new, it looks like, first stream. So there you go on that, my friends. But that is it. That is it for me. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. I hope everyone has an excellent morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on what it is for you. And I hope to see you back here again in the future for some more stuff, whatever happens to suit your fancy. Until then, see you, bye.
Oh, f***, the Moopsie is free!